start with a little video, shall we? All right, well, I hope that on the attention stage, I hope that got everyone's attention. My name is Andrew Humber. I'm the VP of Marketing here at Ryff, and I'd like to welcome you all to our session entitled Out of Home, It's Coming Home. Let me ask a couple of questions before we get started. Who in the room right now is a brand or an agency representing brands? All right, it's a good number. And who of you are either running out-of-home campaigns today or running TV advertising? Okay, perfect. You're in the right place. So as the video said, we are Elonex Ryff. We're a new joint venture launching here at MadFest, and the first of its kind ad unit that we call In Scene Out of Home. To explore this topic a little more, my fabulous guests today, we have Nick Smith, CEO of Elonex, one of the UK's leading digital out-of-home providers, Shirley Hughes, head of sales and customer experience at Ryff. And I'm excited to have one of our favorite brand customers here today, Frankie Eribo, co-founder and president of the urban luxe sneaker brand LØCI. So Nick, you started in the industry back in, dare I say, 1986. Now you're a digital media owner. How did that happen?
Good morning. Can you hear me all right? Yeah. So at Elonex, yes, we love technology. We love billboards. It's a bit weird, but we do. So we spent 1986 to 2008 building and developing tech like smart TV, Kindle, the world's first sub-£100 laptop, which basically we took a chip out of a washing machine, well, out of my brother's washing machine, and produced what's now called ARM. And then in 2008, we started to develop digital out-of-home screens and out-of-home network across the UK. So now we have about 1,000 screens ranging from roadside, shopping malls, tier one retail parks and leisure. Then we found we needed digital screens in places where we didn't have digital screens. So we started to build a mobile network. So for example, it might be Freshers Week, and it didn't substantiate having a billboard there all the time, but we needed it there for Freshers Week, and we'd put a billboard in. So we did digivans, we built mobile D48s, which we can deploy in 20 minutes. So it's a D48 that looks permanent and goes in there. And then that was great, and everything worked really, really well. Oh, by the way, you can see our screens around here. So this is one of ours. There's a digivan outside, and we've also launched our first EV Land Rover Defender. So it's an old Defender where we've made it totally electric, and it runs fully off EV. So we love the growth, we love the industry, and constantly strive tech. And then 18 months ago, my excitement just hit the stratosphere. I bumped into a friend of mine that was the ex-VP of NVIDIA and AMD, and he'd developed some tech where they were buying rights in movies and TVs to put virtual product placement. And I felt that as Elonex, we could embellish that, and how cool would it be if we put billboards in there that were always there. So if we can, let's talk in scene out of home.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. So Shirley, I mean, Ryff isn't a billboard company. That's not where our journey began. So perhaps you could spend a couple of minutes talking about Ryff and why our partnership with Elonex makes sense.
Yeah, so Ryff is a fairly new company. We exist to connect brands and their agencies and how we can work with them to connect them to content of any kind. But the audience loves the content. They want to, we put the brands in the content they love and actually help them not have to deal with or watch the ads that they don't always love. We partner with content providers of all kinds and find the places within their television, film, social content that is contextually relevant for brands and actually helps us tell the story with the content creators. We have our technology that detects through metadata thousands of pieces that tell us what's going on in a scene and actually helps us give that content. Again, the context that helps with the brand safety and guidelines as well that brands are so important to do when we're working with content creators. We do this in both 2D and 3D, and what do I mean by that? So 3D would be taking this lovely liquid death can that we've got here and placing it into a scene so it actually looks like it was on the table as it was shot originally. And from 2D, we're talking about sort of static assets, so billboards, posters, anything that a brand can use to help create a brand awareness, but maybe they don't have an actual physical product. So it's another way to create some awareness within the content.
So how many of you in the audience have heard of VPP or virtual product placement before? Okay. You actually, I think you're our strongest group so far. So, I think a lot of us are familiar with traditional product placement. I think we've all got in our heads some good examples and some terrible ones. Pepsi and World War Z, I'm talking about you. But it's a fairly new advertising medium. So, Frankie, let me turn to you here. As a customer that's embraced VPP as part of their media mix, tell us a little bit about LØCI, first and foremost, but then a little bit about your experience with in-scene advertising.
Thank you. LØCI was founded about 3 years ago. Our background is we had a ladies' vegan brand, and we were part of the fast fashion and mass production. And for us, we wanted to create a new brand that was doing better for the planet and better for the environment. And, since LØCI's infancy and it being born, we've managed to pick up some huge traction. We're currently selling in 26 countries around the world. Our online business is growing daily, which is amazing. Partnering with these guys has been incredible. And, about 18 months into the journey, we were fortunate enough to have Leonardo DiCaprio invest in the brand. That gave us, additional awareness and, of course, put us on a bit more on the global map. And then most recently, we have pretty much received investment from Nicki Minaj, and we've also launched her collection in April this year. So, LØCI's a vegan lifestyle brand trying to make impact and change the world in the fashion industry and make it a better place.
Thank you. And then, so your first project, or our first project together, was Love Island on ITV. So tell us a little bit about what that did for the brand and why you chose that content.
We were one of the early adopters for the PVV. And what it had done was, it was actually a really good experience. We had an amazing account manager, actually. We sat with him, we worked through all the assets that we wanted, and then we helped select an audience, or a TV show that would actually give us an audience that we weren't speaking to. And that was a really good experience for us. That's actually still running, funny enough. You can go on YouTube and see that. And fortunately for us, it's actually worked out quite well. We've managed to generate over £100,000 pounds in revenue since we went live with that.
That's great.
Yeah, we're just working with you guys more regularly to try and continue the growth. So it's really exciting for us.
So, brand growth is a really huge benefit of VPP. Repetition, getting your brand in front of consumers more and more. There's a number of other benefits or other results that we've seen from some of our brand customers. Shirley, do you have a few of those to hand that you could take us through?
Yeah, we've seen great numbers of the work that we've done. For instance, we have a cosmetic brand that we worked with that we had a 1-month program for them, putting them both with physical product, as well as we had some posters and billboards that we did in that content, and shared with us they had a 35% increase in purchase intent, which is amazing. A beverage brand that we worked with, actually sort of the same type of campaign, saw a 69% uplift in brand awareness, which is super exciting for us to hear those numbers. And then finally, we did a Kantar study with Diageo, and we included their brand Bailey's into some holiday movies. Bailey's, Christmas, makes sense. And they definitely shared with us they had an uptick in sales off the back of the campaign that we were a part of.
Now, I think one of the benefits with what we're talking about here at the show of in-scene, out-of-home is really being able to extend your existing creative from a digital out-of-home campaign, but extend that same creative into in-scene content, which I think is an interesting thread to pull on. So, Nick, if I can come back to you, this likely affords the advertiser a lot of benefits with regards to more precise audience targeting, a lot more eyeballs for the money. Can you elaborate on how you guys are working with the Ryff platform and what you can bring to brand customers?
Yeah, sure. So when we looked at it, it was quite interesting. So you've got product placement, which is one product, but we sell billboards. So a lot of time we feel that the advertiser absorbs advertising in a medium that they're used to accepting advertising in. So for example, if you're looking at football, you notice the premised LED around the outside. So what we asked Ryff to do, and we helped develop with them, is to build street furniture billboards that we could put into the TV programs and movies that are always there. So, for example, in Hollyoaks, there'll be now a digital 6-sheet, and you could buy that digital 6-sheet anytime you want, but every series, that digital 6-sheet will sit there. In, let's say, Ghostbusters, by the fire station, there'll be a digital 48, and then you can buy that there. So we're kind of buying or building real estate that you've got billboards, and we're bringing basically out of home back into the home. And then basically, you could be out today and you'll see a billboard, and that's great, but you might be traveling home from Madfest this evening, and you're watching something on your phone, you get home and watch your TV, and hey, that campaign is there. So it's that McDonald's campaign, or it's the LØCI campaign, yeah, that's on there as well. So that's kind of how we've embellished and how we've tried to build it out.
And as Nick neatly segued me to Frankie here, so let me ask you a question on that as well. So, LØCI obviously, got a very iconic brand that you're building, and obviously you're going a lot of marketing across TV, social. How important is that ad consistency to you, and how important is it that you achieve that kind of brand repetition to keep LØCI front of mind?
I mean, I think that's extremely important. We spend a lot of money on our trademarks, our photo shoots, and just making sure that wherever we turn up, we're representing the brand correctly. And, like I say, look, consumers, they're bombarded with advertisement and from all angles, right? Even in this room, it's everywhere. So the more consistent you are, the better it is for you, the better that people can recognize and, just see that logo and be like, hey, that's LØCI, I know those guys. So for us, it's just extremely important. We have to be pretty much the same everywhere.
Yeah. And for anyone that doesn't know it, it's the one on the shoes and the one on the hoodie. So take note of that one. So brand consistency is obviously very important. Shirley, let me ask you, what else can brand advertisers see in terms of benefits from this approach?
Yeah, with VPP and again with partnering especially, it's effective. We can target the right audience that you're looking for. We can allow for localization as well, which is an opportunity that we've got to do in tandem with the out of home. It's efficient. We reach really large numbers, and usually both in the content as well as on social, and usually more inexpensively, as well as sort of a traditional campaign, and it's fast. If you work traditional with television or film, you know how long it takes to produce those pieces of content, and we can do it in a day, in a week, 2 weeks, whatever it might be. You could be talking about a back-to-school campaign, a holiday campaign right now, and we can absolutely affect content that quickly.
I'm sure this raises some eyebrows around content, right? Because I think, and a lot of the questions that we've had since we've been at the show is, can we get this specific piece of content, and what can brands get access to? More importantly, how do I get the rights to put my brand into that, and how do we get the rights to put your brand into it? So can you, Shirley, maybe you're the best person to answer that. So what kind of content can we get into? How do we do it? What can you share on that?
So we here at Ryff have a very large content team that is out talking to content producers of all kinds every day. Television broadcasters, film producers, showrunners, anybody that really has the rights to give us, that we can have access to their IP to actually work with them to put brands in. Everything's changing, as we know. Things are becoming more fragmented. Content owners want to work with brands, and we're another way for them to find access to those brands. So we work with anybody that we can. In the UK, we work with Channel 4 and ITV. We're also doing a lot of work in the fast channels, Rakuten, Inside TV as well. We know those channels are growing. We know that's where the eyeballs are going as well. So another thing that we can do is deliver those audiences in all the places that they're watching content.
Mm-hmm. So we're a very visual company. I think everyone on this stage really cares about what we put out there in the world. We care about our art. And as we often say affectionately, we're working with content owners and we're asking if we can draw on their art. So it's very important to us that what we put out there in the world is of the highest quality, and we make sure that the content owners that we work with like what we're doing and obviously want to see more of it. So with that in mind, let me show you another quick video. Come on. The timing. There you go. was actually a video that we did for a very well-known clothing brand. We had to remove the logo for the purposes of this event, but we thought we'd make it MadFest branded. So for any MadFest marketing people in the room, this is your 2025 campaign all taken care of. Cabana 3, tell them Andrew sent you. You'll get a discount, or not. I'm going to let Nick comment here. We've got some, an interesting deal and an interesting question for the brands in the room. So I'm going to let him take it away.
Okay, so look, I hope you can feel our excitement, and I mean, we are truly, truly excited about this, but honestly, we're a bunch of geeks. And we've developed this tech for what we think for you guys, the industry, the brands, the agencies, the specialists, but we need your feedback. We need you to come and see us. I mean, we've got all the guys in the blue Elonex Ryff tops. Come and talk to us. They don't bite. We just want your feedback. And also, we need some brands to try it out. So we're going to make it really, really easy. We've got a deal. I like deals, but we've got a deal. And we're looking for 6 to 8 brands to come on the journey with us for the next 2-3 months, where we're going to give you this for free. If you've got a media campaign out there and you're doing out of home, we'll do a media match. So if you're spending money, we will media match on this, but we only need 6 to 8. In Q4, we're going to launch it properly, and we're going to go full scale that. I don't know where the price is going to sit. You guys will work that out. But we want to build success. Success like this guy, and I mean, Nicki Minaj, Leonardo DiCaprio. Wow, yeah? It's fantastic. And
thank you.
Basically, we're going to say it came off us, but I'm sure there's a lot more. But listen, please, come and talk to us. And honestly, we just want your feedback. We want you to help us. We want to help you. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Nick. Just about wraps up our time. That's all we have for you. Thank you very much to Nick. Thank you to Frankie. Thank you to Shirley. Have a great rest of your MadFest. Thanks for coming.